So apparently Joe Rogan has the most popular podcast on Spotify, and he's repeatedly spread COVID misinformation and invited guests on to do the same.
Went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like I guess, like dinosaur type of animals, roam the earth when people
worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news. And we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won. And this is
host of Spotify's most popular podcast, has long been a lightning rod for controversy, particularly when it comes to COVID-19. He's been accused of spreading misinformation, both personally and by platforming guests who do the same. And somehow, we've gone from trusted anchors like Walter Cronkite to Rogan, who, by the way, reportedly believes in dragons. Seriously, I double-checked. The same guy who thinks prehistoric lizards may have coexisted with humans is now shaping public opinion, all while Americans stress over job security and media credibility. It's wild. We once said Trump was like Hitler. Half the country disagreed and elected him. And now, Joe Rogan, Dragon Believer, is holding the mic.
People like our show because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal note.
I don't know. Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest f***ing statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said. Yeah. You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't believe
the other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said was there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with John.
Picture this: Joe Rogan mid-kettlebell swing or deep in an ayahuasca revelation suddenly says, "All right, enough." After years of being the preferred punching bag for daytime TV's self-declared moral authorities, the View Rogan decided he wasn't going to keep taking the hits in silence.
Show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her, and they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's a bizarre show.
Of course, is the talk show equivalent of wine-soaked brunch among headlines, suburban moms. It's 5 women, 1 table, no filter, and enough snark to fill a group chat. They've accused Rogan of just about everything but faking the moon landing.
Rogan here. Did you see Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons, I guess? According to Joy Behar, he changed his X profile. Did you see this?
I did see that.
It now just simply says dragon believer. He had talked about dragons on the show. It's the thing of it is, you take anything out of context and you can make fun of it and mock it. And so, let's do that. It goes without saying, Joe Rogan, how many times more intelligent do you think Joe Rogan is than Joy Behar?
Stranger is Rogan wasn't even involved. He didn't guest star, didn't zoom in, didn't send a Spotify care package. But he still became the centerpiece of their outrage buffet. Picture Joy Behar rolling her eyes into next week, while Whoopi Goldberg doles out judgment with the gravitas of someone who's never met a mirror.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels, and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even...
What did Rogan do in response? Exactly what you'd expect from a guy who made contestants eat bull testicles for prize money. He sued them for $100 million. This wasn't about hurt feelings. Rogan doesn't care if you don't like his opinions or his supplements. What he does care about is defamation, something that messes with business, contracts, and reputation. The View's casual smears weren't just personal. They were potentially damaging to his multi-million-dollar brand. Sorry, ladies. Sipping coffee on live TV doesn't make you immune from consequences.
You see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
His legal team came prepared, not with love letters, but with receipts, clips, transcripts, fact checks. Accusing someone with a global platform of spreading misinformation without evidence is more than sloppy, it's dangerous. And it's not just about opinions anymore. It's about business, reputation, and accountability. Spotify isn't a fan of negative press, unless it sells, and this mess threatened revenue. The View might have underestimated how far Rogan was willing to go to protect his empire.
Agree that Joe Rogan is a horror. A horror.
I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners.
then
He's
what-
got a
what are you
$100
saying,
million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says,
That's fine.
this is misinformation.
Spotify chimed in with a familiar defense. It's just our opinion. But once you broadcast that opinion to millions, it better come backed with facts or a disclaimer. Rogan dissected the whole ordeal on his own show, roasting The View with precision. His response wasn't angry, it was surgical. Reddit blew up. YouTube exploded. Twitter became a digital gladiator arena. Rogan's fans came armed with memes. The View's defenders, not so much.
Arguably, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile.
Right. Because their mom's taking their kids to school, and that's, yeah.
It's a very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
It's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, are just very dull.
The View has relied on the cushion of light entertainment to sidestep consequences. They joke, judge, and jab. But when called out, suddenly, it's all fun and games. Rogan's lawsuit isn't just a grudge match, it's a wake-up call. You can't slander someone with a $200 million audience and expect them not to clap back. This might mark the end of consequence-free commentary, especially when your target is someone who lives to challenge mainstream narratives and has the cash to do it.
That people love to hate.
Yes, that's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
And that's their audience.
Yes. Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows.
Is thick. The same hosts demanding accountability. For everyone else now find themselves hiding behind "we were just talking." That doesn't hold up when the fallout might cost your parent company, Disney, the GDP of a small country. ABC issued the classic "we are reviewing our options" statement, which is legal code for how bad did we screw up.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's
the
the
View?
only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just
She
heard
said,
about
I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like,
you think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch.
people?
Means the panic was real. Rumors swirled about on-air clarifications or a forced apology wrapped in chamomile and crocodile tears. The public reaction: total chaos. Rogan's fanbase celebrated like it was fight night in Vegas. The View's defenders scrambled. Both sides started waving the free speech flag, but from completely opposite corners of the ring.
Do you have any trans women on it?
Great point. It has a lot of women that look trans, but none of them. it has a lot of second and third takes. After a drink, you'd go, huh? But it doesn't have a ton of...
The real story. This lawsuit isn't just about Rogan or The View. It's about the blurry, perilous line between opinion and defamation. In a world where talk shows wield more influence than politicians, the question becomes, who holds them accountable? Rogan's suit asks whether casual slander should come without consequence. Whether he wins or not, this could change everything from YouTube hot takes to TikTok takedowns.
Arguably, like, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile.
Right. Because their mom's taking their kids to school, and that's, yeah.
It's a very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
It's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, are just very dull.
Is thick. The same hosts demanding accountability, for everyone else now find themselves hiding behind "we were just talking." That doesn't hold up when the fallout might cost your parent company, Disney, the GDP of a small country. ABC issued the classic "We are reviewing our options" statement, which is legal code for how bad did we screw up.
Agree that Joe Rogan is a horror. I
mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation?
That Joe Rogan is a horror.
I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation?
If I'm chimed in with a familiar defense, it's just our opinion. But once you broadcast that opinion to millions, it better come backed with facts or a disclaimer. Rogan dissected the whole ordeal on his own show, roasting The View with precision. His response wasn't angry, it was surgical. Reddit blew